The year was 1960. Warren Pike and his distributor colleagues in the power transmission industry were gathered in a ballroom at a hotel in Chicago for a momentous occasion, the inaugural meeting of what would become the Power Transmission Distributors Association. Though manufacturers were absent that first year, they quickly became integral partners, embodying the essence of PTDA's mission. Mr. Pike and his fellow visionaries started PTDA for the same reason you meet here today: to do business together in ways that serve your mutual customers efficiently, effectively, and profitably, to bring knowledge and information about products and services to your employees, and to shape the industry's future. Their foresight laid the groundwork for an association that has evolved and thrived over 64 years. I can pretty much guarantee that at that first meeting in Chicago, there were no speakers on AI or digital marketing, nor was anyone forecasting out to 2030. But what I believe hasn't changed over those years are the core values of this association. We define PTDA culture with words like collaborative, committed, community, excellence, and stewardship. And while the words carry meaning, it's the actions of our members that demonstrate our culture. It's the feeling that comes from meetings like this, where you share stories about successes and possibly some setbacks. You devise ways to do business better together. You seek out and rely on the expertise and the knowledge and the experience of those who have dedicated their life to this industry. These people here embodied and continue to embody this culture at PTDA. Each of them has been recognized for their lifetime achievement to the power transmission distribution industry and to the association. And this morning, we're adding one more name to the list. Please join me in congratulating Brian Short as the recipient of the 2024 Warren Pike Award.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason to live.
So I owe a huge thanks to Barb Ross, who was my co-conspirator in getting Brian on a call to let him know that the board had selected him for this honor. Barb got Brian into Fannenberg's office under the guise of sharing his knowledge and insights at a sales meeting. Little did he know that we had a Teams meeting set up. Let's see how it went. I have news to share with you.
All right.
The PTDA Board of Directors has selected you as the Warren Pike Award recipient for 2024.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yes.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, it was a unanimous decision.
Oh, my God.
There was absolutely no discussion. Your name was on the list. They said absolutely. Your dedication to the industry and the foundation and the association has just been stellar. So for the few of you who have not met Brian, have not had the opportunity to work with him, let me tell you a little bit about him. So Brian has been involved in the power transmission industry for more than 40 years, spending nearly his entire professional career with companies that make and sell power transmission products. From his first days with distributor Bruning Bearing to his move to the dark side, to manufacturing, Brian progressed in positions of larger territories and more responsibility. It was because of his reputation as an advocate for this industry and someone who knew stuff and knew people that Brian was recruited to serve on a committee in 2008. After serving on PTDA committees, Brian was tapped as a PTDA Foundation leader, serving as the Foundation president in 2018 and 2019. And while Brian's experience and skills were important in his volunteer work, what sets Brian apart are those things that are uniquely Brian. So let's start with his wicked sense of humor. If you have ever been in a meeting with Brian, you have had a good time, because Brian always brings that sense of humor and joy and fun to the meeting. Brian is the consummate volunteer leader. It is not an easy job to manage your colleagues, who are sometimes your competitors and sometimes your customers. Brian does that with tact and grace, always looking to build consensus. And if consensus just wasn't possible, He made sure that everyone in the room understood the what and why of the decision. And Brian cares. Brian cares about the industry. He cares about the association of the foundation, and he cares about the people. Whether it's a colleague on a committee, or somebody he's meeting with at MD IDEX, or a member of the staff, Brian goes out of his way to learn about people and what's important to them. Brian, today we want you to know how important you are to us. It has been such an honor to work with you. On behalf of the PTDA Board of Directors and the members of the association, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Ann. Since I retired in July of 2022, I have missed being among my PTDA friends and associates. It is good to be here with all of you. I would like to sincerely thank the Board of Directors for considering me for this award. As I said to Ann, I would be honored to be thought of as one of the giants of the industry, not something a person with the last name Short would ever expect. I'd also like to thank the PTDA Foundation for allowing me to lead this hardworking and dedicated group for 2 years and to be a trustee for many more. Please give them your support when they call. And I must mention Ann and the PTDA staff and thank them for seamlessly orchestrating the Industry Summit. And finally, but first in my heart, I have to thank my wife, beautiful wife Karen, and my family for their patience, understanding, and support over the 42 years that I've been living this great career, one that I never expected to have. Because, like so many of you, I was completely unaware of the bearings and power transmission industry. I studied transportation management in college. I was one of the few members of my cohort that had a job offer at graduation from the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad as a management trainee with the July start date. Due to industry deregulation, the railroad started merging and decided they didn't need a fresh crop of management trustees. So they pushed my start date to the following January. When I broke that news to my parents, they very quickly suggested that I find a job, as my current practice of sailing my dad's boat during the day and bar hopping at night was not sustainable with zero income. I interviewed at Bruning Bearings in Buffalo, New York, and was hired at the ultimate entry-level position, the warehouse shipping department. I learned to discern between a Timken and a Fafner, or a National Seal and a Chicago Rawhide, and boy, could I count O-rings. Pretty soon I was moving up to a desk with a rack of catalogs and price lists, and a phone. So my real education began. Fafner School, Morse School, and many others followed. Within 2 years, I was asked to put on a suit and tie and take over a local sales territory. I started working with district sales managers from numerous suppliers and began to see the value of the support they provided. I guess I impressed the DACO district manager as he pursued me to take his place when he opened his own DACO distributorship in Rochester, New York. 6 years later, having advanced to a corporate position with DACO, I attended my first PTDA in Reno, Nevada. It was at subsequent PTDA events where I truly learned the power of building relationships between distributors and manufacturers. I served on committees with so many great people, many of whom are Warren Pike Award winners, some of whom I'm very grateful to see are here today. We developed many tools to help distributors be more efficient and effective, and the strong relationships I built helped me throughout the balance of my career. You could say that the PTDA helped me broaden my horizons and be lucky enough to actively participate in elevating excellence. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the summit.